All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I'm Anuja Kumar and with me is VC Pramod. The headlines. Nation celebrates Vijay Diwas today to mark victory of 1971 Bangladesh Liberation War. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to light up Swarnim Vijay Mashal. Prime Minister says government is always committed to the welfare of farmers. COVID-19 recovery rate reaches 95.12%. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson to be the chief guest at Republic Day Parade next year. And in Jammu and Kashmir, polling underway for 7th phase of District Development Council elections. As the nation fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin with a message of precaution to stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki doori for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will light up Swarnim Vijay Mashal today and begin the 50th anniversary celebrations of Indo-Pak War. In December 1971, the Indian Armed Forces secured a decisive and historic victory over Pakistan Army, which led to the creation of a nation, Bangladesh, and also resulted in the largest military surrender after the World War II. Defence Ministry said that various commemorative events are planned across the nation, and the inaugural event will be held at the National War Memorial in New Delhi. 4 victory mashals will be lit from the eternal flame of National War Memorial. These mashals will be carried to various parts of the country, including the villages of Paramveer Chakra and Mahavir Chakra awardees of 1971 war. The ministry said soil from the villages of these awardees and from areas where major battles were fought in 1971 are being brought to the memorial in New Delhi. Defence Ministry said the Prime Minister, the Chief of Defence Staff and Tri-Service Chiefs will lay wreath and pay homage to the fallen soldiers at the National War Memorial today. Various commemorative events will be conducted pan-India, wherein war veterans and Veer Naris will be felicitated. It said the events like band displays, seminars, exhibitions, equipment displays, film festivals, conclave and adventure activities are also planned. December 16th is a monumental day in the history of world politics when in just a span of 13 days, a war was fought and a sovereign nation, Bangladesh, was born. The war also unveiled the real face of Pakistan and atrocities it inflicted on its own people in erstwhile East Pakistan. The 1971 war was the fallout of the oppressive political and economic policies of West Pakistan towards East Pakistan, which caused unimaginable human sufferings, leading to the exodus of more than 10 million refugees into India. The military option was exercised by India only when all political and diplomatic efforts to resolve the issue failed. The 1971 war is also remembered as one of the shortest duration wars which changed the geopolitics of South Asia. Within 3 days of the declaration of the war, Indian forces were able to completely ground the Pakistani Air Force. Then came the historic broadcast by Army Chief General Sam Manekshaw on All India Radio, asking General Niazi to lay down arms. He assured them of treatment as per the Geneva Convention.
They were soldiers. They carried out their government's order. I had nothing against them. They fought. Well, they lost. Therefore, when they came in, I looked after them. I put them in barracks. They slept under cover. We haven't got enough barracks for everybody, for their 93,000 and my own troops. So my troops slept on the ground.
News Services Division of All India Radio in its program Spotlight will broadcast a feature on Vijay Diwas tonight. This can be heard on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:15 p.m. onwards. This program will also be available on our website newsonair.com and on our YouTube channel News on AIR Official. You can also listen to it on our mobile app News on AIR. Prime Minister Narendra Modi reiterated that the central government is always committed to the welfare of farmers and it will keep assuring the farmers and addressing their concerns. The Prime Minister was speaking after laying foundation stones of various developmental projects at Dhordo in Kutch district of Gujarat yesterday.
मैं अपने किसान भाई बहनों से फिर एक बार कह रहा हूं, बार बार दोहराता हूं कि उनकी हर शंका के समाधान के लिए सरकार 24 घंटे तैयार है। किसानों का हित पहले दिन से हमारी सरकार की सर्वोच्च प्राथमिकताओं में से एक रहा। खेती पर किसानों का खर्च कम हो, उन्हें नए नए विकल्प मिले, उनकी आय बढ़े, किसानों की मुश्किलें कम हो, इसके लिए हमने निरंतर काम किया।
The projects unveiled by the Prime Minister include a desalination plant, a hybrid renewable energy park, and a fully automated milk processing and packing plant. Addressing the gathering, Mr. Modi said farmers gathered near Delhi are being misled about the agriculture reforms as part of a conspiracy.
आजकल दिल्ली के आसपास किसानों को भ्रमित करने की बड़ी साजिश चल रही है। उन्हें डराया जा रहा है कि नए कृषि सुधारों के बाद किसानों की जमीन पर दूसरे कब्जा कर लेंगे। भाइयों बहनों, मैं आपसे जानता हूं, क्या कोई डेयरी वाला आपसे दूध लेने का कॉन्ट्रैक्ट करता है तो आपकी गाय भैंस ले जाता है क्या? कोई फल सब्जी खरीदने का उद्यम करता है तो क्या आपकी जमीन ले जाता है क्या? आपकी प्रॉपर्टी उठा के ले जाता है क्या?
The Prime Minister accused the opposition parties of misguiding the farmers. He pointed out that the agriculture reforms that have taken place is exactly what farmer bodies and even opposition parties have been asking over the years.
हाल में हुए कृषि सुधारों की मांग बरसों से की जा रही थी। अनेक किसान संगठन भी पहले ही मांग करते थे कि अनाज को कहीं पर भी बेचने का विकल्प दिया जाए। जो लोग विपक्ष में बैठकर किसानों को भ्रमित कर रहे हैं, वो भी अपनी सरकार के समय इन कृषि सुधारों के समर्थन में थे, लेकिन अपनी सरकार के रहते वो निर्णय नहीं ले पाए, किसानों को झूठे दिलासे देते रहे। जब देश ने यह ऐतिहासिक कदम उठा लिया तो यही लोग किसानों को भ्रमित करने में जुट गए।
Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar has reiterated that the government is willing to continue dialogue with genuine farmer unions and find a solution with an open mind. He asserted that minimum support price (MSP) is an administrative decision and will continue as it is. Mr. Tomar met the members of Bharatiya Kisan Union Kisan from Uttar Pradesh yesterday. The leaders of the union welcomed the Farm Acts and said that the acts will be beneficial for farmers. However, they submitted a memorandum to the minister with suggestions regarding the Farm Acts and MSP. Talking to reporters after the meeting in New Delhi, the Agriculture Minister stated that the union has said these bills are in the interest of farmers and should not be withdrawn at any cost.
भारतीय किसान यूनियन के सभी राष्ट्रीय और प्रादेशिक पदाधिकारी उत्तर प्रदेश से यहाँ आए हुए हैं और उन्होंने इन तीनों कृषि सुधार बिलों का बहुत ताकत से समर्थन किया है और उन्होंने कहा है कि हम बिलों के साथ हैं, सरकार के साथ हैं। कृषि में ऐसे सुधार बिलों की अपेक्षा लंबे समय से थी। कई जगह किसान कुछ भ्रम फैला रहे हैं और इसलिए इन लोगों के मन में भी भ्रम था। जब मैंने विषय को रखा तो उन्होंने कहा कि हम पूरी तरह बिलों का समर्थन यहाँ भी करते हैं और अब जिला स्थान तक जाएंगे और बिलों के बारे में किसानों को बताएंगे।
During the meeting, the union leaders suggested that farmers should be given the option of going to civil courts in case of a dispute. They also suggested that the panchayat head should be accorded the same importance as the head of the mandi to safeguard the rights of the farmers in small towns and villages. Foreign Minister of Bangladesh, Dr. A.K. Abdul Momen, has said that the bilateral cooperation on COVID-19 pandemic was likely to be top on the agenda during the virtual summit meeting between Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He said that India has already promised to provide COVID-19 vaccine to Bangladesh and the talks are expected to reinforce that understanding, reports the official news agency BSS. Speaking about connectivity issues, Dr. Momen said that during the COVID-19 pandemic, both countries established the air bubble arrangement. He said that Dhaka would seek to re-establish other connectivity modes like restoring land borders and railway links to resume travel of people at a large scale. Earlier, it was announced that the two leaders will inaugurate the reopening of the Chilahati-Holdibadi rail link, which has been non-functional since 1965. A cargo train is likely to be flagged out during the virtual meeting of the two Prime Ministers. The virtual meeting between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina is scheduled to take place on Thursday, 17th December.
The country's COVID-19 recovery rate has reached around 95.12%. During the last 24 hours, 34,477 people recovered from COVID-19. The Health Ministry said the total number of recoveries has gone up to over 94,22,000. Union Health Secretary Rajesh Bhushan has said that India's case fatality rate, CFR, is amongst the lowest in the world.
भारतीय किसान यूनियन के सभी राष्ट्रीय और प्रादेशिक पदाधिकारियों पर
रिकवरी रेट की अगर बात करें तो हम 95% से अधिक रिकवरी कर चुके हैं। यूएसए, इटली, रशिया, ब्राजील के रिकवरी रेट हमने आपको दिखाए हैं। यूके और फ्रांस नियमित रूप से अपने रिकवरी रेट रिपोर्ट नहीं करते हैं, तो विश्व की जो अनेकों वेबसाइट्स हैं जो इस तरह के आंकड़ों को ट्रैक करती हैं, उसमें आपको इन दो देशों के रिकवरी रेट नहीं मिलेंगे। लेकिन जो देश नियमित रूप से रिपोर्ट करते हैं, उनके साथ हमने भारत की तुलना की है और आपके सामने ये आंकड़ा रखा है।
He said at present India's CFR is 1.45%, whereas globally it is 2.26%. Mr. Bhushan said a multi-level governance mechanism have been set up in the nation to monitor the work related to COVID-19 vaccination. He added that 23 ministries and departments of government and states have been identified and assigned roles for vaccine rollout.
23 मंत्रालय और विभाग भारत सरकार में और राज्य सरकारों में चिन्हित किए गए हैं और उनको स्पेसिफिक भूमिका बांटी गई है और ये भूमिका है प्लानिंग से संबंधित, इम्प्लीमेंटेशन से संबंधित, सोशल मोबिलाइजेशन से संबंधित और अवेयरनेस जनरेशन से संबंधित। जब भी वैक्सीन का रोल आउट होता है उस समय इन 23 मंत्रालयों और विभागों की खास जवाबदेही रहेगी। इसके अतिरिक्त ट्रेनिंग का काम बहुत तेजी से आगे बढ़ा है। मेडिकल ऑफिसर्स के लिए ट्रेनिंग मॉड्यूल तैयार हो गए हैं, वैक्सीनेटर्स जो हैं उनके लिए ट्रेनिंग मॉड्यूल तैयार हो गए हैं, उनके जो वैकल्पिक वैक्सीनेटर्स होंगे उनके भी तैयार हो गए हैं। कोल्ड चेन हैंडलर्स, सुपरवाइजर्स, डाटा मैनेजर्स, आशा कोऑर्डिनेटर्स, इन सब के ट्रेनिंग मॉड्यूल तैयार हो गए हैं।
In Bihar, free COVID vaccination will be given to people of the state. This decision was taken at the cabinet meeting chaired by Chief Minister Nitish Kumar. The cabinet also took a decision to provide employment to 20 lakh unemployed youth in the next 5 years. Youth keen on starting business will be given 5 lakh rupees in loan at 1% interest plus 50% subsidy on the project cost up to a maximum of 5 lakh rupees. The cabinet also enhanced the incentive to unmarried girls having passed intermediate from 10,000 rupees to 25,000, while for married and unmarried girls having done graduation, the incentive has been raised to rupees 50,000 from 25,000 for higher education.
In West Bengal, in the last 24 hours, 2,289 people have been infected with the coronavirus, according to a report released by the Health Department on the 15th of December. The recovery rate has risen further to 94.33%. 4,96,110 people have recovered so far. The death toll in the state has risen to 9,145, following the death of 45 people during the last 24 hours. At present, 20,663 patients are undergoing treatment. Madhya Pradesh continues to register decline in active COVID-19 cases. The state reports more recoveries than positive cases. More from our Bhopal correspondent.
Madhya Pradesh registers decline in active COVID-19 cases. State records more recoveries than positive cases. As per Health Bulletin of a State Department, more than 1,300 patients recovered yesterday. Around 27,500 tests have been carried out in the state yesterday, out of which 1,073 new positive cases were reported. Maximum COVID positive case 419 registered at Indore, followed by 185 at Bhopal. So far, more than 2,09,000 patients have recovered from COVID infection in the state. Pooja P. Vardhan, AIR News, Bhopal.
Gujarat has recorded 1,110 new cases during the last 24 hours. AIR Ahmedabad correspondent reports that the recovery rate further improves and reaches 92.57%.
The total number of COVID-19 cases detected so far in Gujarat has reached up to 2,29,913. Out of these, 2,12,839 patients recovered. 1,236 patients recovered during the last 24 hours. More than 87,80,000 tests have been carried out in the state till date. Maximum 239 new cases reported from Ahmedabad, while Surat recorded 167 new cases. At present, total active cases in the state are 12,881. Out of which 61 patients are on ventilator. 11 patients died yesterday, taking the total deaths due to COVID-19 up to 4,193. Yogesh Pandya, AIR News, Ahmedabad.
In Odisha, COVID-19 active caseload has further come down to 2,671. During the last 24 hours, while the state recorded 300 new cases, taking the tally to 3,24,389, 392 patients also recovered, increasing the recovery tally to 3,19,850. More from our Bhubaneswar correspondent.
The highest number of fresh cases that the state recorded yesterday was 44 in Angul district, with the lowest being one each from at least 5 districts. With the virus losing ground in the state, places of worship shut for over 8 months now are preparing to open up gradually. After the decision to reopen the world-famous Sri Jagannath Temple in Puri in about a week's time, yet another important shrine, the Sri Lingaraj Temple in capital Bhubaneswar, is set for a graded opening from the 27th of this month with COVID-19 protocols. Girish Chandra Das, IIT News, Bhubaneswar.
The Madras IIT has been temporarily kept under lockdown as more than 150 students and staff are reported to have tested positive for COVID-19 infection since the beginning of this month. The Tamil Nadu Health Principal Secretary, Dr. J. Radhakrishnan, who visited the premises, said they are stable and their health is being monitored. Meanwhile, the active COVID-19 caseload in Tamil Nadu came below the 10,000 mark yesterday. More from our Chennai correspondent.
The Madras IIT cluster is being referred to highlight that the lowering of the bar by the public in following the safety protocols like wearing masks can lead to the situation getting aggravated. The state government has asked the public not to be complacent in wearing masks by just seeing the declining numbers of fresh cases. Meanwhile, the active caseload of COVID-19 came down below 10,000 in the state yesterday, the first time in many months. It is a new milestone in the management of the pandemic in the state. Jai Singh, AIR News, Chennai.
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Nation celebrates Vijay Diwas today to mark victory of 1971 Bangladesh Liberation War. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to light up Swarnim Vijay Mashal. Prime Minister says government is always committed to the welfare of farmers. COVID-19 recovery rate reaches 95.12%. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson to be chief guest at Republic Day parade next year. And in Jammu and Kashmir, polling underway for 7th phase of District Development Council elections. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
The United Kingdom has confirmed that Britain's Prime Minister Boris Johnson will be the chief guest at Republic Day parade in January 2021. During talks with External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar, visiting UK Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab confirmed that PM Johnson has accepted India's invite to be the chief guest at the Republic Day parade next month. In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, polling for the 7th phase of District Development Council polls began at 7 a.m. today. In the second phase, polling is being held in 31 DDC constituencies, 18 in Jammu Division and 13 in Kashmir Valley. Adequate security measures have been made to ensure smooth and incident-free polling. Due to the biting cold in the morning, poll process is slow but will pick up as the day progresses. More from our Jammu correspondent.
A total of 298 candidates are in the fray in Phase 7. Of these, 226 candidates are male and 72 are female. A total of 6,87,115 electorate are eligible to exercise their franchise, for whom State Election Commission has set up 1,892 polling booths. The first 6 phases of polling held so far has seen impressive turnout of voters exercising their franchise. State Election Commissioner K.K. Sharma has appealed people to come forward to participate in the biggest festival of democracy. R.K. Rana, AIR News, Jammu.
Meanwhile, we have a report from our Srinagar correspondent on elections.
Amid severe cold and elaborate security arrangements, the polling began at 7 in the morning and will conclude at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. 148 candidates are in fray for 13 constituencies of Kashmir Valley and 150 for 18 is in Jammu division. Nearly 7 lakh voters are going to elect their representatives in today's polling. In all, 1,852 polling stations have been set up in both the divisions for today's polling. Mushtaq Ahmed Ante, AIR News.
In Kerala, the counting of local body elections begins. More from our Thiruvananthapuram correspondent.
Counting of local polls began at 8 in the morning today at 244 centers across the state abiding to strict COVID protocols. The local body elections were held in 3 phases on December 8th, 10th and 14th. High polling of over 70% was recorded in all the 3 phases. As the state eagerly waits the poll results, strong triangular contest is expected in many areas between CPM-led LDF, Congress-led UDF and BJP-led NDA. Mayusha, AIR News, Thiruvananthapuram.
The News Services Division brings glimpses of the year that was in our special series Year-Ender. COVID-19 pandemic has been the biggest story of the year, and India has seen the fight back against the pandemic under the dynamic leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. One of the important pillars of support for the street vendors in this period has been the PM Street Vendors Atmanirbhar Nidhi, PM Swanidhi scheme. It has played a crucial role in providing credit assistance to street vendors across the country. Interacting with the beneficiaries of UP in October this year, the Prime Minister said, for the first time since independence, such a scheme has been launched to protect the interest of street vendors. Our correspondent takes a look at the progress made under the scheme and how it has benefited the street vendors across the country.
Launched on 1st June this year, PM Swanidhi has come as a big relief for the street vendors who wanted to resume livelihood activities post-COVID-19 lockdown. More than 30 lakh applications have been received. Out of these, over 16 lakh have been sanctioned and over 11 lakh credit assistance have been disbursed. This scheme targets to benefit over 50 lakh street vendors. It provides an affordable working capital loan of up to 10,000 rupees to them to resume their livelihood affected due to COVID-19 lockdown. This amount is repayable in monthly installments in 1 year. On timely or early repayment of the loan, an interest subsidy of 7% per annum will be credited to the bank accounts of beneficiaries through direct benefit transfer on quarterly basis. The scheme also promotes digital transactions through cashback incentives up to 100 rupees per month. Moreover, the credit limit can be enhanced on timely or early repayment of the loan. Recently, the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs has also entered into an MOU with Swiggy, the leading foods delivery platform, to onboard street food vendors on its e-commerce platform. It provides them online access to thousands of consumers and help these vendors grow their businesses. Monitoring the progress has now been inbuilt with an online dashboard and the PM Swanidhi portal. The timely launch, implementation and monitoring of PM Swanidhi has been of immense help to the street vendors in difficult times of coronavirus pandemic. Divakar, AIR News, Delhi.
Today, Kazakhstan is celebrating its 29th anniversary as a sovereign independent nation. Relations between India and Kazakhstan are ancient and historical, going back to more than 2,000 years. Both the countries actively cooperate under the aegis of multilateral fora including CICA, SCO and the UN organizations. In an exclusive interview with AIR News, Yerlen Yelimayev, ambassador of the Republic of Kazakhstan, shared his insights on India-Kazakh relations. He said India is one of the key political, trade, economic and investment partners of Kazakhstan.
One of the main achievements of cooperation between our countries is a high level of mutual trust. And the striking example of this trust is the deployment of the first Kazakhstan's peacekeeping contingent to Lebanon within the Indian battalion as part of the UN mission. Kazakhstan is number one supplier to India of uranium. Defense cooperation is developing very excellent. So it currently comprises of military technical cooperation, military education and training. India, as a member of the Conference on Interaction and Confidence Building Measures in Asia, initiated by Kazakhstan, plays a great role in this organization in Asia and very supportive. And Kazakhstan, in its turn, also one of the supporters of India's role in the United Nations.
For the excerpts of the interview, listen to the Parikrama program on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 4:30 p.m. In view of COVID-19 pandemic, the winter session of Parliament will not be held this year, and Parliament will meet directly during the budget session in January next year. In a letter to Congress leader in Lok Sabha, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, Parliamentary Affairs Minister Prahlad Joshi said he had informally contacted floor leaders of various political parties, and they have expressed their concerns about the ongoing pandemic and opined of doing away with the winter session.
Government has said that about 41,72,000 paddy farmers have benefited during the ongoing Kharif marketing season with minimum support price value of more than 71,000 crore rupees. The Agriculture Ministry said government continues to procure Kharif crops at its minimum support price from farmers as per its existing MSP schemes. It said the procurement is continuing smoothly in Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Telangana, Uttarakhand, Tamil Nadu, Chandigarh, Jammu and Kashmir, Kerala, Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra and Bihar. Out of the total purchase of over 380 lakh tons, more than 202 lakh tons have been purchased from Punjab, which is around 53.33% of the total procurement in the country. Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. The national capital may experience a cold day today. The minimum temperature was 4 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 18 degrees Celsius. In Mumbai, the minimum temperature was 21 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 30 degrees Celsius. Chennai will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. The temperature will hover between 21 and 30 degrees Celsius. Kolkata is also expected to have fog and mist in the morning and mainly clear sky later. The temperature will vary between 17 and 28 degrees Celsius. On to the north in Srinagar will witness mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature was -4 degrees Celsius while the maximum will be around 11 degrees. In Jammu, the lower level of temperature was 9 degrees Celsius while the upper level will be around 18 degrees. The city may witness fog, mist in the morning and mainly clear sky later. Leh may also witness partly cloudy sky. The minimum temperature dipped to -9 degrees Celsius while the maximum will be around 2 degrees. In Gilgit, mainly clear sky today. The temperature will hover between -4 and 14 degrees Celsius. In Muzaffarabad, mainly clear skies expected today. The temperature will hover between 2 and 16 degrees Celsius.
The first test of the 4-match Border Gavaskar Trophy series between Australia and India will begin tomorrow at Adelaide Oval, and it would be a day-night contest. Australia have the best record in day-night tests as the side have not lost a single match that has been played with the pink ball.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. Reassuring farmers, the Prime Minister reiterates the government is ready to address their doubts over new laws. Quoting the Prime Minister, the Indian Express headline says, opposition misleading farmers, shooting from their shoulders for politics over new reforms. AIIMS Nurses Union suspends strike following High Court order, notes the Hindu. Government calls off winter session over COVID, writes the Pioneer. May meet for budget in January, mentions the Tribune. Another headline in the same paper writes, warships, jets part of Maritime Command contours finalized, which is likely to be based in Karwar. Defence production bounces back, MOD numbers show recovery, observes the Economic Times. Hindustan Times writes, great honour, UK PM to be Republic Day chief guest. And finally, a front page headline, Times of India reports on the cold wave weather conditions in the NCR, saying winter's coldest day and night as hill chill sweeps into city. Minimum drops to 4 degrees centigrade.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Nation celebrates Vijay Diwas today to mark victory of 1971 Bangladesh Liberation War. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to light up Swarnim Vijay Mashal. Prime Minister says government is always committed to the welfare of farmers. COVID-19 recovery rate reaches 95.12%. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson to be chief guest at Republic Day Parade next year. And in Jammu and Kashmir, polling underway for 7th phase of District Development Council elections. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsoneir.com and News on EIR app. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.